Hey gang, Sally here. Hope you're having an amazing and fascinating day. I know I am. Hey, we're here today with a follow-up to a video we just released recently about the increased fees proposed for the LTVA areas around Quartzsite and Imperial Dam proposed for 2025. So here's a follow-up to that because there are other BLM proposed fee increases for sites that are also in that general area. So let me just recap briefly. I'm going to put a link to that video here as well so you can check out the whole thing. But one of the issues is that the proposed site changes, fee changes, are going to separate La Posa LTVA and Imperial Dam LTVA from all the other LTVAs that are located in California, so that you'll end up having to pay two fees if you want to be able to jump around from all of the LTVAs to any of the other ones. So, but that's not what this is going to cover. What we're going to cover here today are other sites near Imperial Dam, for example, that are not part of the Imperial Dam. And it's a little bit confusing, but first of all, at this moment, it does not appear that California is proposing any changes to the fee structure for the El Centro Field Office managed LTVAs. So that would be all the rest of them. Hot Springs, Tamarisk, Mule Mountain, Pilot Knob. I think I'm missing one. But again, it's in it. All of them are listed in the video I did the other day. That's going to be linked right up here. So before we get into the whole fee structure change, one of the things that I want to say, and I can't say it often enough, is we have an obligation to be good stewards of our public lands. So, don't leave an area trashed. And if you find it that way when you get there, clean it up to the best of your ability. Don't leave the trash behind, take it with you, find a way to get rid of it. Yes, it's inconvenient for us to be able to do that, but the more we can make our public land use seem seamless, the less that our public land managers actually have to do, the greater our chances of having more public land available to us for longer. Okay. So another tip is, stay as long as you want to within the rules for the land that you're recreating, where you're recreating. And that may be that you can only be there for 14 days. If it's a 14-day stay limit, move after 14 days. Don't overstay your time limit and wait to be kicked off. And that's particularly true if it's an area that is being patrolled with some regularity by rangers. But even if it's not, be a good human, do the right thing. So for the sites that we're talking about today, the stay limits are that camping is limited to no more than 14 consecutive days or 14 days in any 28-day period before required relocation to other public lands at least 25 miles away. Unless, and I had never seen this before, unless a visitor is entering a different type of public land occupancy program where a permit would also be required. Now, I've got a lot of information I'm going to be sharing with you today, a lot of details, and I had to really dig through and find some of this stuff. So I'm going to put all the links down below for all of the sources that I used, because I'm not making this stuff up, guys. As always, thank you so much for watching my videos. I truly appreciate your taking your time to do that. As always, please give us a thumbs up, leave a comment. If you've got any questions about this, feel free to leave those down below. And with that, we're going to roll the intro, and then we'll get right into all the details. And we're back. Okay, so we're talking about 7 other, they're called amenity fee recreation sites, or AFRS, that are managed by the Yuma Field Office, also known as the YFO. We got a lot of word salad here, guys, sorry. That are located near the LTVAs. And as a refresher, if you missed the previous video, LTVA stands for Long-Term Visitor Area. And these are the ones that are affected by fee changes. So it includes Senator Wash North Shore, South Shore, Boat Launch and Day Use Area, TK Jones Campground and Boat Launch, which I'd never even heard of. I didn't even know that existed. Oxbow Campground and Boat Launch, didn't know about that either. Wait for this one. Imperial Dam and La Posa LTVA's non-winter off long-term season, so from April 16th until September 14th. Betty's Kitchen, Ehrenberg Sand Bowl, and they've got a proposal for a future Fortuna Pond campground. So let's get through a little bit of the background about all of this. And I will tell you, the two proposals, the one for the fee changes to the LTVAs that we talked about the other day, and the fee changes for these amenity fee sites, the whole proposal, 30, 35 pages of it, reads pretty similarly, but I've read through both of them because I want to make sure I get it right for you guys. So, the Yuma field offices, first of all, encompasses an area that's 155 miles long and 90 miles wide, and it extends from western Arizona into eastern California. And the fees, the program's been in existence since 1999, but the fees were last amended in 2008. So it's been a while. And yes, they probably need to be increased. So for a campground to be considered an amenity fee site, there have to be at least 5 amenities, which may include access roads, restrooms, drinking water, trash collection, picnic tables, fire rings, reasonable visitor protection, whatever that means, tent or trailer spaces. And I will admit, there's a whole handbook on like what all of this stuff actually means. I don't know what reasonable visitor protection means, and I did not take the time to go look it up because I imagine that handbook, although I haven't found it, but I'm guessing that's probably several hundred pages. Didn't want to read all of that today. So, standard amenity fee sites include Betty's Kitchen and the Ehrenberg Sand Bowl. Expanded amenity, I never do bloopers, but maybe I should. Expanded amenity fee sites include the Senator Wash North Shore, South Shore boat launch and day use areas, the TK Jones Campground and Boat Launch, Oxbow Campground and Boat Launch, and Imperial Dam and La Posa LTVA's non-winter off long-term season from April 16th until September 14th. Let's talk about that for a moment because I think I certainly didn't know this before. I just assumed that the LTVAs were always managed as the LTVAs were managed, and it was just a difference in what fee you were paying based on what time of year it was. But apparently it's not, that's not exactly true because the expanded amenity fee sites are different from the LTVA sites, whole bunch of federal regulations that are around all of this stuff. And just like in the proposal we talked about the other day, proposed fee increases will also be incrementally increased according to the CPI. So when it reaches a 20% increase, fees will go up 20%. And in addition to increasing the fees at the expanded areas that we talked about, Senator Watch, TK Jones, Oxbow, Imperial Dam, and La Posa LTVAs, this proposal would also remove fees from Betty's Kitchen and Ehrenberg Sand Bowl, and thereby convert them to being managed as dispersed sites. So why is that, one would ask? Well, here's the direct quote. Due to changes in recreational uses, reduction in the minimum standard amenities provided, remember that whole list of things I read you, like picnic tables, visitor site protection, and all that stuff, and overwhelming logistical and enforcement issues. I think that's the real issue. The Yuma field office has not collected fees at these locations or supported establishment of standard amenities for approximately 10 years. The recommendation to remove the fee from these two sites will enable visitors to enjoy quality outdoor recreation experiences for free. Sounds to me like they already have been doing that for the past 10 years. I mean, I can't imagine that they've got an Iron Ranger set up and it's stuffed full of money. I'm guessing people have been using it for free for 10 years. And again, as I said, it was going to propose a new campground adjacent to Fortuna Pond. That's for a couple of different reasons. Overnight camping is not currently allowed in the area around and next to the pond. The Fortuna Pond area was developed in combination with Fish and Wildlife and one other agency, I can't remember who offhand, and camping around that area is not consistent with the intended use for the pond, around the pond itself. So the proposal is to put in a 25-acre campground site adjacent to it to the east, and that'll contain 40 RV sites and 20 tent-only sites. And it will also have fire rings and picnic tables and all the normal stuff. So that's what they want to do. What's it going to cost? That's always the question, right? So the proposed fee increase for the expanded amenity sites. Well, before what's it going to cost? Why are they doing this? They say current combined program funding levels only meet 60 to 63% of obligations associated with the programs. Due to the shortage of funding, necessary maintenance, contract adjustments, and staffing levels have been kept intentionally low and deferred in an effort to maintain fiscal responsibility. So what they're saying very clearly is that, they've deferred staffing, they've deferred maintenance, which means the infrastructure is falling apart. This sounds an awful lot like what's going on in New Mexico state parks that I've reported on extensively earlier in the summer. I'll try and remember to link those videos here as well. So currently the fee for overnight camping is $15. Their proposal is to increase it to $20. That's not a huge increase. And in this whole proposal, they've got a whole lot of justification, checking other sites, um, thinking that their increased fees are going to be commensurate with what you would be paying elsewhere, basically. But they also offer an annual pass, and the annual pass is currently $75. Their intention is to increase that to $200, and that covers 14 days in and 14 days out. Well, I want to come back and talk about that in detail, but the last piece of it is there is currently a $10 day use fee, and they are proposing no change to that. Let's go back to the annual pass, and I read this as carefully as I could. I couldn't figure this out very clearly from their proposal, but it appears, and this is different from what I had thought originally. I thought if you wanted to go camp at Senator Wash, you were getting the Senator Wash area and boat launches, and that was your $75 fee, and it didn't include anything else. But it appears to me that this annual pass, $75 currently, and plan to increase it to $200, is an annual pass, not a seasonal pass, okay? But it includes Senator Wash, North Shore, South Shore boat launch and day use, TK Jones Campground and boat launch, Oxbow Campground and boat launch, Imperial Dam and La Posa LTVA's off season, April 16th to April 16th to September 14th, and will also include the proposed Fortuna Pond site when they finally get around to building that. So that's more than double what it is currently to take it up to $200. And the thing that I'm not clear about is it's 14 day in, 14 day out. So let's say, for example, if you're at Senator Wash, can you then move to Oxbow for another 14 days? Or do you have to be out of the annual pass authorized sites for 14 days before you can go back to any of them? I am not clear on that at all. Sorry. I did find one other thing that I thought was interesting, though, which was, back at the beginning in the intro, I said, got to move 25 miles away unless a visitor is entering a different type of public land occupancy program. And I would assume that that means, like, if you're going to U.S. Forest Service or, something like that, then you might be able to stay within a 25-mile distance. But, if it's within the BLM annual pass area, I think you got to be out for 14 days. But here's the other thing that is kind of crazy to me. It always says 25 miles away. Is that by road miles? Is that by air miles? Is it, is it a radius? Or is it by road miles? What is it? I don't know. I'm sure that's in the handbook. That's probably hundreds of pages that I haven't read. And I didn't think any of you really felt like I needed to do that before we could talk about this. Can you get a discount on any of those expanded amenity site fees? Well, apparently, yes, you can. If you have an America the Beautiful senior or an access pass, you can get a 50% discount on admission to the Yuma field office's expanded amenity sites. The General America the Beautiful Pass does not provide a discount for camping fees, though. So that sounds to me, and I could be wrong about this, but it sounds to me, and I tried to call the Yuma field office several times, and the phone just rang and rang and rang, and then I'd be disconnected. But it sounds to me like you can get the annual pass for $100. Certainly, if you're only going in for a night or two, instead of the proposed $20, you can get it for $10. So, to my way of thinking, this proposal is much less onerous than the one for the LTVAs for the on season during the winter. So I hope you found this helpful. Hope you got something out of it. As always, please leave me a comment down below. Give me a thumbs up, all those things. If you haven't already, maybe consider subscribing. And again, I really appreciate you taking your time to watch these videos. And tell you what, I'm going to do something different. I'm going to find out if you made it all the way to the end. If you did, please leave a comment that tells me what you like best about Kit. Hey, Kit, can you come talk to the people for a minute? Let's see the people. See the people. There he is. There he is. I just woke him up from a sound nap. Um, and I will, of course, leave you links down below for where to send your comments. Comments are due by October 21st, and they need to have the subject line YFO Amenity Fee Business Plan. And I'm also going to put a link to the site from the Yuma field office that has all of the information with links to the draft business plan and all of that stuff that I just read to you. And I hate to say it, we are not quite through with this. There's going to be another video that's going to talk about other sites that are not directly around the LTVAs that we've been talking about, and some of those are near and dear to my heart with some interesting changes coming up. So we'll see you next time. Thanks again.